Corey Halsey's persuasive speech. This is Ron, Pat, and Doug, and Tanya will be controlling our video camera. I want to tell you a story about a mom from Ashe County. Her name was Monica Martin, and her story appeared in the Mountain Times paper in 2004. Monica was the mother of 2 young kids, but she was in an abusive relationship. She had changed the locks in her house and was planning to meet with a lawyer. But Monica never made it to that meeting. Her boyfriend broke into her house and in front of her 2 children shot and killed Monica before turning the gun on himself. This happened just a few miles from where we are right now. We can no longer pretend that things like this horrible act of violence do not happen in our own town. The problem belongs to all of us. The first time I heard the story of Monica Martin was at a fundraiser for Ashe, a safe home for everyone. The story was told by Monica's young daughter, who was 13 years old. Since then, I have volunteered at a safe home for everyone, the domestic violence thrift shop, Threads of Hope, and Monica's Haven, named after Monica. Tonight, I want to talk to you about the problem of domestic violence in Ashe County and in North Carolina. And I will show you how you can become involved in the fight to end domestic violence and to help its victims. I will first define domestic violence. Then I will address the problem of domestic violence, first in Ashe County and North Carolina. And finally, I will show you ways you can become involved helping a safe home for everyone and at Threads of Hope. First, what is domestic violence? Who is affected by it? And what are the warning signs of domestic violence? According to the North Carolina Coalition Against Domestic Violence, or the NCCADV, domestic violence is when 2 people are in an intimate relationship and one partner uses a pattern of coercion and control against the other person. This can be during the relationship or after the relationship is terminated. It includes physical, sexual, emotional, or economic abuse. According to the North Carolina Domestic Violence website, domestic violence does not discriminate. Rich, poor, all social classes, cultures, religious backgrounds, couples who are living together or separated, domestic violence affects them all. According to Eve's Peace Toolkit on domestic violence, some warning signs of domestic violence include wanting a committed relationship within the first few months of dating, living with a spouse or partner who is jealous, controlling, who sets unrealistic expectations, can be verbally abusive or abusive to animals. Second, the problem of domestic violence continues to grow. According to the NCCADV, 3 women are murdered by their spouse every day in the United States. The NCCADV also reports that 73 women were murdered in North Carolina in 2011 due to domestic violence, and 15 of those were children. The records also show that in the last year, 120,000 calls have been made to 911 in North Carolina resulting from domestic violence. According to Tanya Rourke of the Ashe Partnership for Children, in Ashe County last year, a safe home for everyone worked with 197 people who were victims of domestic violence. Now, 45 of these victims were children. 3 were men. Ashe County also had 1 murder-suicide resulting from domestic violence. Now, what can we do to make a difference? One of the most impacting things you can do is to volunteer. Tanya Rourke says a safe home for everyone always is in need of volunteers. They offer many ways to volunteer and provide free training. You can volunteer to answer the domestic violence hotline, volunteer to counsel someone who is a victim of domestic violence. You can volunteer to be a speaker for a safe home for everyone. And you can volunteer to spend your time working at the safe home known as Monica's Haven or volunteering at Threads of Hope. Now, if you ever go to Threads of Hope, you will meet Helen Marie Revis, who would love for you to come and hang out and help her. Helen Marie says they are always in need of volunteers. All the proceeds from Threads of Hope go to benefit a safe home for everyone. To help out with Threads of Hope, you can donate used clothes, toys, household items, and furniture. But mostly, they value people donating time to help out. To summarize, you've seen that domestic violence is very real. It is a problem in our county today. In the short time I've been speaking to you, at least one person in North Carolina has called 911 resulting from domestic violence. Others may have been abused and do not know what to do. You can make a difference in their lives. We've talked about what domestic violence is, its warning signs and statistics. You also know you can make a difference. Won't you join me tonight in the fight against domestic violence? Won't you pledge to help people be aware of domestic violence in our county and in our state? Help the victims of domestic violence. I spoke to Monica's daughter after she had shared her story of watching her mother be murdered. She told me it was painful for her to speak about it, but people needed to be aware of domestic violence. If she could do that at only age 13, then we can all take part. I challenge you to take a stand for Monica and for all victims of domestic violence tonight. Commit to doing something to help a victim of domestic violence.